Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Women at the Front Line. This Saturday, I'm very glad you are here, and this is a space that would like you to be every Saturday as we bring you inspiring women, women that can speak to your life, women that you can pick something. Our experiences here are very inspiring. And today I have, of course, the amiable Dr. Maggie Kigozi. She's now professor because of so many things that she's done in her life. She's done quite a number that you know. Currently, she's a farmer, but has been a very, very important public leader in this country, an entrepreneur. Right now in many spaces in terms of chairperson, mentoring leaders, mentoring young women, and quite a lot, still sporting away as well.
Yes.
Dr. Maggie, I'm so humbled that you were able to give us this little time of yours. I know in your busy schedule. You're welcome to our program.
Thank you.
My name is Monicah Amoding, and it's just a chat. It's a conversation because we use this space to speak to young women, speak to women leaders, grow leaders. And so would like to get inspired in this space. And today I'm so delighted that you are able to be here, certainly.
Thank you very much, Monica.
It looks good on you.
My uniform, age.
Oh, yes, you're aging so nicely. I don't know,
Thank
you probably share with us some of those secrets.
Oh, wow. I'm
aging
71
gracefully.
years old,
Wow.
to be specific.
Wow.
Yes.
Sweet old mama.
Jaja.
Jaja, actually. Good to see you, ma'am.
Thank you.
And when I was growing up, the name Maggie Kigozi was, you know, some of those names that we looked up to all the time, you know, the work that you were doing. And you've done quite a lot, but you are still doing much more.
Yes.
And that kind of life, certainly, we need to tap into your life, honor your life, but also tap into it and grow along. You know, some of the values, lessons that you have learned along the way, it's important. It's a mentorship space. So we are glad that you are able to be here.
Thank you.
And maybe I'll just start from what you are doing here. We are at Kazi camping ground, and quite a lot of things are going on here.
Yes.
Dr. Maggie here is a scout, and I found her doing her other things of scouting, and I pegged into her program. What's happening here, ma'am?
Yes, this is Kazi Scout Camp in near the lake. Lake Victoria is just down there.
Fresh environment.
Very beautiful. Here we were actually having a reorientation of all the management teams of the Uganda Scouts Association.
Wow.
We have been going through COVID, and scouting is all about getting together.
You look smart, by the way.
Thank you. You like my uniform?
I love it. I wish I had got one before. Okay.
Yes, so we normally get together, we have meetings and we camp and we have bonfire right behind in the middle here, but it hasn't been possible.
Yes.
So we've lost a lot. We've lost a lot of structure. Things have fallen apart a bit. So we
like
are
every
here.
other society, every other sector has fallen apart.
Yes, affected after 2.5 years of really not being able to be active. So we are working on getting back on our feet.
Yes.
Ours is for the young people.
Wow.
We are just the leaders. We are volunteers.
I expected to find young people around.
Yes, you would see thousands of them at the camp in August, or the various other activities that we have.
Okay.
We have various stages. So the rovers are at university level, that age group. You'd have a rover moot or something. So we have various activities for various ages. But right now, it is us, the leaders, the volunteers, who are here to plan for the youth and then move on with the strategic plan.
Wow. This whole thing about scouts, personally, I never joined scouts or Girl Guides during my time when I was growing up. What is it all about? It's surprising that you're still with them. What role are you playing with them in terms of leadership?
I actually wasn't with them when I was the right age to be with them because in my time, girls were Girl Guides.
Girls were Girl Guides.
And I found that a little bit boring.
Oh.
Boys were scouts. But over the years, we're like feminists all over the world. We don't allow anything that says men only.
Wow.
So that battle has been won.
Okay.
And we now have Uganda Scouts Association.
Which is
boys
all
and girls.
encompassing.
Yes.
Okay.
So what do? We train leaders actually using the model that Baden-Powell took from the army. So we use the patrol system. We have a promise, and we are smart.
You're smart.
And
Very
we
smart.
salute,
Yeah.
just like in the army. But we also work on that principle. So somebody is a patrol leader, and someone else has other roles. So we learn to be democratic. Because you need everyone. You need the security leader, you need the cook, you need everyone. And so it's very good training. And if you're the patrol leader now, maybe next year I'm the patrol leader.
And
so
we have to work with each other.
Everyone has an opportunity to lead.
Wow. So you're training leaders. That's a big, big contribution, especially in our country now when we need to rethink, you know, going forward, how many more years ahead, how can we train and prepare our young people?
Yes.
I don't know if this association now is in every school so that all our children can take advantage of this, because growing up we had so many opportunities, but I don't know if these things are still in schools. I have a challenge in my home because some of the children that I have, when it comes to career guidance, you ask them, what would you want to do? And they say no,
Anything.
you know. So I don't know if there is career guidance at school and what's happening with our young people, but I think this is beautiful.
This is beautiful. And ours are given an opportunity to try so many things. And also we do some skills training, a lot of skills training. So you would find them different. They are patriotic.
They are patriotic.
They love their country. They love their God. And so our children, our young people are very different from the average.
So are the clubs in most of the schools in Uganda?
Yes, we've just been taken back, thank God, to the Ministry of Education.
Okay.
They had moved us to gender and youth. And that's kept us not so tight with the schools. Stagnated. Where our main members
target group.
Yes. So now we are back in the Ministry of Education, and yes, we'd love to see scouting in each and every school.
Wow. So every parent out there, I think your children should be in the scouting clubs and all those other, clubs that are out there to help young people in schools. I think sometimes I worry about my girls and I'm like, will they be as empowered as I am? How? And growing up then, there were several opportunities here and there. So those kind of opportunities are very, I think, fundamental. Thank you so much. And I think you are, who is the president? Patron or?
I am the chief scout.
Chief scout, what does that mean?
We do have a patron, that is His Excellency President Yoweri Museveni. The chief scout is, mainly a ceremonial figure. I come in like I've come in now when I see a problem. So to try and sort out post-COVID, taking the scouts forward. Otherwise, yes, but I have an office that's Africa-wide. I chair the Africa Scout Foundation, which is a foundation that raises funds for scouting in Africa. Yes.
You are doing well and eating life in old age, I must say. And thank you so much, Dr. Maggie, for the things that you do. We meet in so many spaces. You're mentoring all the age groups, young and also our age and above. I think there's a lot that we can learn and pick from your life. And I just wanted, maybe, because the public knows a lot about you, I don't know if there are other things that we could start from there also. Some of the things that we do not know about Maggie Kigozi that have made her and built her to this giant of the land that we see. Yeah.
I think there's not much that somebody somewhere has not found out, but of course not everyone
scratched around the internet
watches all the programs. So yes, I am part British, part Muganda.
Wow.
Yes.
But you're so well blended in the Buganda culture now.
I am.
So
thoroughly.
Much. You love it.
I think that's one thing to advise to people of my race, of my mixed race. Choose one.
Choose one.
For me, because I see some of my relatives, some of my cousins worried about getting their British passport, and I say,
neither here, neither there.
I don't need that. I am Ugandan, I am a Muganda.
Wow.
I belong to the Ngeye clan. I'm married to the Fumbe clan, better known, Navio and the children.
Wow.
So that is me.
That's you.
And I love my country.
And you're
have
building
no
it.
desire to be in winter in the UK
Wow.
ever.
Wow.
So,
Wow,
yeah.
that's so powerful. And of course, having a solid identity and
Yes.
foundation helps you to project into
Yes.
what you desire, you know, and for your children, that stability
Yes.
is quite offered. That's a wonderful thing.
Mm.
And certainly, in terms of culture, our identity builds a lot in
Yes.
terms of the type of life we shall also enjoy. Yeah, so I want to thank you, and maybe just to flash back in your life, you've done so much. You are into farming now, of course. You've built businesses. You've done quite a lot of things. Is there something that you look back and you're like, I should have done better in this area, or you missed out doing in the many years that you have lived this far?
Well, I missed a number of years being in Uganda because of the political situation. So when they bring refugees to Uganda, I am happy because I was a sort of refugee, but because I'm so well, educated, my medical degree was really served me very well over the years that I lived. But I did live in Zambia. I lived in Kenya. We came back in '86 with this present government when peace, came back to Uganda. So those are years that I missed. My grandmother died. Couldn't see my parents. My brother got paralyzed at that time, and I wasn't there. So that is one thing that I feel I could have contributed.
Spending more time with the family.
With the family,
okay,
yes.
And building more. You are so much of a family person.
I am, but I had my nuclear family, my husband, wherever we were, and my children from 1, 2, 3. But yes, the bigger, broader family, both my husband's side and my own side. Yes.
It's a rich one, certainly. And we see the output you have out there. They're also doing their various things and impacting society. That's the pride of any parent.
Absolutely.
If you fail in that area, you live a very unhappy life.
That's
you feel
true.
You judge yourself harshly as a parent. And I'm sure your children are very proud of you. And we are as well, who we are still learning from you. I would like you to just speak to me, a leader still aspiring in many things, or a young one who is just upcoming. Some of the things that have made you, that make you tick, you know, the ethos of life, the ABC of your life, some of the things that somebody could associate and say, yeah, I think Maggie is just like me. I should do better in this way or in the other way. Just speaking your thoughts generally around that area, because I know you mentor a lot. You do a lot of that.
One thing I do tell every young person I meet, get as much education as you can.
Number one.
Number one. As much as you can, or a skill. With all the places I've been, my medical degree meant I got a job the very first day
Anywhere
I applied
you
for
wanted,
one.
Yeah.
Anywhere I want one. As well as my husband, who was an engineer, had absolutely no problem. So education is fantastic. Secondly, I think my sports. I used to play. I'm actually, I think, the only person.
You are challenging me. I don't do so much of sporting.
I represented Uganda in 5 sports.
Ooh.
Yes, I played hockey, junior hockey. I played lawn tennis. I was the women's champion and the junior champion. I raced motorcycles.
Wow.
That's a family thing. I think everyone knows the Blicks.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, so I rode motorcycles. I raced motorcycles. I also then later on transferred to table tennis. When you're in medical school, you cannot play tennis because lectures end at about 7 or 8.
Quite late, quite engaging.
So I was not able to continue with my lawn tennis, and I picked up table tennis.
Wow.
And then at a later date, somehow I found my love. I wish I had met squash earlier. I love squash. So then I became a squash player, and again I played for Uganda. So I've played 5 different sports for Uganda.
That's wonderful.
Yes. Now, what did that give me? Sports gives you the competitiveness, gives you the ability. You're stronger. You're physically stronger. You've been talking about my 71 years. And I think I owe a large part of that to the sports that I used to do. It gives you networks. You meet the most incredible people, the most useful people.
Wow.
I played with them at some point in some of these games, including my partner in Pepsi Cola.
That's where you
The
met him.
chairman was, yeah, we used to play squash together.
Wow.
So yeah, so it also gave me those incredible networks. So to the parents who don't encourage their children to do sports, I want to change that. Change that. That's a huge opportunity.
Huge opportunity.
Yes, and it gives you visibility. I'm not being interviewed for the first time today.
No,
I was being interviewed when I was
back,
playing tennis,
you know.
and I was 16 years old. I've been in the media.
Wow.
Yes. So again, another advantage of being in sports. Yeah. So the parents, allow your children
to
choose what game
what
they like.
want.
Nowadays, the girls play anything: cricket, football, rugby, but also our traditional netball and others.
Wow, that's wonderful. And I think it's an area that we don't pay much attention to. And our children, we tend to draw them away from academics. I mean, from sports back to academics. I don't know how. What about the balance? I have that challenge.
Yeah, no. Sports makes you better at academics. You come in when you're fresh.
The mind.
You've been running around, you're sweating, and you sit down to your books, and they're so much easier.
So much easier.
You can concentrate, yes. So I think it is, and also even there you learn to concentrate. In order to follow a table tennis ball, you learn to concentrate. So that also comes back to your books. Yeah, so sports is very good for academics.
I can say I would like to ask you this question because I see you're a woman who has lived it all, balanced everything, career, family, and all those kind of things. This question is popping up in many places, and we are perturbed a lot of times. Younger career women, they have this question all the time. How do you balance this wheel of life? How do you go on, pursue your career, pursue your education, do all the things that women ahead of us have done and succeeded at, and we still seem to be battling, especially those younger than us?
Yes.
It's a tough one.
No, it's not a tough one. I think they're being impatient.
Is that so?
Yeah, they are impatient. It took me 71 years to get to where I am.
Okay.
You want to do it when you are 25.
25 or 30
years. You are not going to do it. I'm sorry. There's a lot that I added on to get me to be allowed to chair the boards that I chair, to sit on the boards that I sit on, to be invited to certain fora. It took time. So I want to encourage a little patience. You guys are so impatient. It's ridiculous. It really is.
Or is it ambition which is not guided or something?
Yeah, well, it's good to be ambitious yet.
Yeah.
Yes, but choose your priorities. So for me, at different stages of my life, the first one was my father wanted me to be a doctor.
You did that?
I was going to do that.
And you loved it yourself?
No.
Oh.
I didn't. That was my father's choice.
You are daddy's girl.
I am daddy's girl. I had to obey.
Yeah.
Yeah. So first, the priority, I must get to medical school and I must qualify as a doctor to please my father. Secondly, even marriage, delayed. I must finish medical school. I met my husband 5 years earlier. Yes.
Wow.
So throughout medical school, he was my boyfriend. But not getting married until I qualified. Secondly, once I had children, my priority, absolutely number one, no competition, my children. But throughout all this time, I was still playing sports. I never dropped sports, so I don't know whether to call them number 3, but they were always there. I was either running around on the tennis court or on the table tennis or something or other.
Maggie, yes. Okay, so prioritization helps a lot.
It does, and it changes. I think the comfort to the young people, it won't be the same thing every year. At the moment you're worried, I am maybe not getting a job. That is your number one. You will get a job, and then that'll be normal. And then now, what is your next challenge? I want to get into parliament.
Focus on it.
You got into parliament, Monica. That is
quite
such a major,
early, I think.
Major
I was
achievement.
Ambitious, as you are saying.
Yes.
And now I've finished parliament. Now what do I do next?
If you had been patient, parliament would have come at a later stage when you are not too young.
Very right.
Yes. So your priorities, they'll be different at every stage. I worked I left medical practice when my husband passed away. I went to the private sector. And that's a lot of fun.
That's a lot
That's
of fun.
where I found my home, actually.
Wow.
Then I came back to government.
Okay.
And worked for 12 years as the head of the Uganda Investment Authority.
Yeah.
That's why all our viewers know me,
Absolutely.
particularly those 12 years.
Absolutely.
But still, they do end. They're a lot of fun. I travel the world. I met Bill Gates. I met all the presidents in the world.
Whoa.
But they do end.
They do end.
And it is a bit of a shock.
That's a question which is important.
Yes.
Yeah, so planning for your post-public life.
Exactly.
Because in this platform, we seem to be focusing on leaders,
yes.
of course, in different sectors. But yeah, you'll be a leader in a different sector, and then that will come to an end.
That will come
the
to
limelight will be taken away from you.
Exactly.
And you are now in the back. So
well,
how are you managing?
I'm not too sure I'm now in the back.
Oh, no, not in the back, but somehow out of the limelight.
You then find what next?
Okay.
What next? Yeah, so I've sat on boards, important boards. I have, my company is doing well. We produce Pepsi, Mirinda Fruity,
yes.
and Mountain Dew. And yeah, the company is doing well. We've just opened a new factory on Entebbe Road.
This competition in the market is not giving you headache.
It's huge.
Okay.
Competition's huge, but we are not doing badly.
All
we're doing okay. So that's one. Then my other things that I love, I plant trees.
Is that so?
I plant trees.
Wow.
So I did have bits and pieces of land that were inherited. And when you are busy, advise again to young people especially, you have some land,
plant the trees.
Plant the trees and forget.
Okay.
I know you're busy, you're doing your job, you don't have time.
You can't do other side hustles, we call them.
Yeah, you cannot look after cows or chicken, no. So yeah, plant trees.
Plant trees.
Yes, eucalyptus within 8 years. 8 years sounds like a lot.
It sounds like
I promise you it's not. It actually ends. My granddaughter is not even only 8, she's already 10.
10 years.
Yeah.
The trees will be mature.
They are mature. They are mature, the ones that I planted.
So is that what you're doing now post
I did that. I planted and I still plant. I'm continuing to plant. We have a nursery right here. So I'm getting some more.
Wow.
Trees to plant on Monday. I'm planting mangoes, I have eucalyptus, I have pine, and then I have trees, mahogany and other trees all over the place.
Wow.
Climate change, we need to respond to that.
I think women want to do more around that. The women politicians talked about doing more in terms of course, the role of a woman in dealing with climate change effects. Yes. I think we need to do much more in terms of
You're the ones most impacted. As women, it affects us cooking, where's the firewood, charcoal is getting expensive, so climate change is really bad for women.
Yeah, very, very
so that's what I do towards.
So are you planting some coffee as well?
I've got coffee, yes. Yeah. I've got coffee.
This whole discussion of coffee going on, won't it affect you as a farmer?
I think that's the most ridiculous discussion I have ever had. There's this one small company that's going to add value to a little bit, and little is the word.
Okay.
Uganda has tons and tons of coffee. One small factory in Namamvi, how much is it going to take?
Wow.
Maybe like 2%.
That's interesting.
And it will have to buy it. You buy it from the farmer or the one who has the coffee. We have a group called New Cafe where we all sell our coffee. So that company can buy coffee from there. So it's not going to change my life.
I would be surprised as a farmer of coffee if you had said otherwise. But it seems like all farmers of coffee in Uganda right now are just really perturbed with this deal. And of course, more importantly, hearing it from you as a former leader of this investment authority, then it really holds ground and water. Yeah.
Yes, I think we haven't. Maybe it sounds different, but you have to go back to the policies of Uganda.
Okay.
You cannot insert new policies. We are private sector led. I choose my market where I sell my coffee. I do not sell it to who you have chosen for me. And then I look at the investment that company is going to do. It's not huge to buy all of Ugandan coffee. So the Europeans, the Arabs, the Chinese are all waiting for our coffee. And we shall sell it to them.
Apparently.
It is good coffee, yes. We have very good coffee. But we must And that's why I would say I would love to support a company like that that adds value. So instead of selling our coffee for, you know, $1, $1, let's sell instant coffee at $8 or $10. Yeah. So that I would love to see.
You would.
Yes.
But the challenge is how to ensure that the local person gets a good purchase price.
The local person is not involved. That company is going to take a little bit of coffee. And they'll buy it. They won't get it for free. They won't come to my farm, pick my coffee and take it. No, they'll ask me how much does it cost and I'll sell it to them. So I don't know why anybody is worried, but maybe.
Okay, so we need to give it time. But then that means we need more investors actually in the coffee sector because as you said, she's going to just take a little of the coffee of Uganda.
Exactly.
6.8 million bags that we export.
Yes.
So you are saying that particular small company cannot consume all that.
No.
And so
not on the 20 acres of land, which we provided in Namamve.
Okay, I guess the weather is going to interrupt us so much in terms of the where we are at, but I seem to be getting signals that we have to wind up quickly. But I would have loved to have a longer conversation with you, Maggie. You have a lot. First of all, we love your culture of, you know, the way you relate with everyone. You relate with everyone at the same level. I come to you much younger than you. You relate to younger ones even in a better way than we just love that about you, and we had to come. I don't know how you can encourage us in terms of that leadership value that you have as a person.
Yes, I think one needs to understand that if you are going to be a leader, you have to have followers.
Okay.
So if you are upsetting your followers straight away, you are not going to be a leader.
To cause impact.
Okay. Yes. So being kind to people, trying to help wherever you can, and being friendly. So anyway, that is just my character. Okay. It also was my father's. My mother was very tough though, so maybe I didn't get as much from my mom. So then also be what they expect. Be authentic.
Be authentic. That's
I don't change. I don't change. You won't find
the same Maggie today is the same tomorrow.
It's the same tomorrow, and therefore you can relate. You can relate to that.
That's very important.
Yes, that is important. I haven't got any major scandals. No, not that I know about.
Things you keep in your closet when we are going through those leadership trainings. They tell us, don't have so much of those, you know, hidden things in the closet. When they come out,
you're in trouble. Yes.
Okay.
So you are authentic. You are who you are. You won't find me drunk. You won't find
because
me.
You don't drink. You keep that same.
I do.
That is you.
That is me. I'm not saying everyone shouldn't drink. They enjoy. You enjoy your drink. Please go ahead. But limit it. And if you are a leader, definitely limit it. Being drunk, a drunken leader is not anything that you want to meet. Yes. And then, corruption is absolutely a no-no.
It's a no-no.
It's a no-no. Wow. I've always hustled and worked.
How do you survive in this country, Uganda?
How would you?
Where every office is tented with, kito kidogo here and there. How did you survive?
I know I do survive because I also understand that the policeman who's in front of me has actually got no lunch. So I'm looking at it that, I should feed the policeman. He should have lunch. And it's not a crime.
It's not a crime.
He wasn't going to have any lunch if I didn't contribute.
Isn't that corruption, Maggie?
Yeah? It depends. It is corruption if I am paying off for something.
Okay.
But no, I would give him a tip.
Normally, if you find them on their normal duty, without any cause,
without any cause, and somebody who does something for you, appreciate. Market woman, do not negotiate. Tomatoes are 1,000. No, and that's me.
Okay.
600. I mean, really, that lady is going home to feed her kids.
Wow.
So that look at the other person's side of the story.
Be
always
empathetic as a leader.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course, you're a feminist. 311, and I would like to hear your thoughts in terms of how far we have come, in terms of the work we are doing. You see this space we are creating. There are many other intentional spaces we have created as leaders in the women's movement, intended at, raising more women. Being intentional about it, because we've realized that action, these affirmative action policies that we are talking about will not take us to the desired parities that we are talking about. So we are encouraging each other, use different interventions to push up the numbers of women in these political spaces. So I don't know how far we've come. How can you assess our work in terms of, raising more leaders in that direction? What more needs to be done?
Yes, we've made good progress.
Okay.
Right now, when I look at the front bench, and it is the Vice President, Prime Minister, First Deputy Prime Minister, oh God, you name it, all the cabinet, and on the political front, which requires them to have stood for Parliament, most of them, and now that is already a major achievement.
It is.
Who would have elected a woman 20, 30 years ago? Never. Now, I know you were elected. But
okay.
But now we are being elected, even on the regular seat.
On the regular seat.
And then we are also being recognized that those who came before us have achieved. Because if the ministers did not do well before, the ones who were there last
more
year
of us wouldn't be here.
But because of the track record, look at the oil and gas. Is there a single man in there?
Quite one or two.
Rare.
Oh, in the oil sector.
In the oil sector, it's even in the technocrats. You come down.
I thought we have one or two women there.
No, we have lots of women there. Yes. So that's because we have now got that trust that we can deliver. I'm happy to have been maybe part of the early group that put that in place. But we have the SDGs, which are expecting us by 2030 to be 50%. We are really nowhere near 50%. Far off. Very far off. What does it need? What do we need to lobby for? And it has got to be affirmative action.
Amazingly, Dr. Maggie, if you look at all the other goals, it is the goal of, or rather the sub-goal maybe of political participation of women, which is even lagging far, far behind.
Yes.
In terms of health, education, we have about 5% to fill in terms of the parity or the gap in health.
Yes.
In education, we are close, just as a country, but also the world. So it appears to the public that we have achieved a lot in political participation, and yet it is the farthest in terms of the worst.
I don't think it's the worst. I think private sector is pretty bad.
Probably.
Is bad. We are not on boards.
Okay.
There are very few of us on boards. It's a new thing. We are coming. We're coming. Yes. I see a lot of new, people who have been called onto boards.
Okay.
But we are few. We are few CEOs. But again, we used to be much fewer. So coming up, I see us heading the biggest banks. Citibank, Stanbic, female CEOs.
Is that so?
Yes, and I think KCB. And we have about 5 banks that we have taken over. Then. So we are coming up, but nowhere near the required 50%.
Yeah.
So again, I was coming up with the necessary affirmative action that will need to be done. And then also equal pay, because we don't have equal pay.
Is that so?
The same job,
but
male and female, and I'm paid much less. That one needs to be addressed. And the last one would be, so those are some of the areas. So in order to achieve the SDGs, work out, you're the feminists, work out what affirmative action do we need to actually clip that 50%.
Or tilt the numbers.
Yes.
Okay. So you talked about the business sector particularly, and I think the public sector. This public sector, we need to assess it and know how many women.
No, the public sector decided on 30% during the MDGs, and they achieved that. Yeah, so the 30%, but it's now 50.
You should be at 50.
So we now need a new affirmative action law for the public sector as well to get to the 50%.
To get to the 50%. That's where the challenge is. I think that you have done us well. I know I will be able to get you another day. This has just been a small appetizer. I will come back another day. The cameras are not going to give us a very good job going forward. But I want to thank you so much, Ma'am, for being here with us. I know we will interact in different spaces, and we will be back here on Women at the Front Lines later on during the programs that we shall have in the future. And I would like you just to, maybe in terms of wrap up, if there's anything else that you would like to emphasize as we close. Yeah.
As the previous head of the Uganda Investment Authority, I want to encourage all the ladies out there, where is your side hustle? You have a job? That's okay. Do your job and be the best at that job. Don't allow them to fire you. But what are you thinking about? The job will end.
It's been said.
I told you 12 years ago, I left the UIA. If I had nothing, if I hadn't planned,
what would happen?
What would I be doing? I'll be starving. So look at what else you can do on your. You need to start a business. Basically,
it's been said salary cannot make you rich.
No, you need to start a business and start it tomorrow. Let's not wait. Begin to think what it is you want to do. Yes, you may fail once or twice. That also, we all go through
a couple
that.
Of times.
There you are. She has failed, so you may fail too, but keep at it. You need to be comfortable. There's nothing as embarrassing as having passed by people driving your nice big car for the corporate you work for, the government you work for, and suddenly you have nothing. So let's make sure you're not going to be like that. Begin to save for your business. Begin to think what business you want to do, and then start your business.
And you're certainly emphasizing that there is life after that government or
absolutely
office,
great life.
There'll be life out, but how have you planned for
it?
I think we could do more of you, Dr. Maggie, in terms of course, entrepreneurship. How should we go about it? When you fail, how do you get back? Because failure is a part of life.
Absolutely.
But then how do you get back? And that is a question that every leader really usually asks when we're in training meetings. Political leaders, how do you really ensure your financial stability and safety and sustainability? So that's a question that we shall need to ask you another time. And thank you for sharing those insights that you have so far. I know they are very powerful, brief but very, very powerful. We shall get back to you another time. I'd like us to sign off by thanking our viewers here. Thank you so much. We've been here with Dr. Maggie, the amiable, lovable mama and grandmother, but also a very inspirational feminist leader in our country here, Uganda, and beyond the region, of course, the globe as well. I would like to sign out and thank you so much for checking us out this weekend. We'll see you another weekend. Shalom.